So we have Buffont and Crate, seeming very apropos to that particular movie and education. Enforcement, a little less clear reference, but the fact is that the Carey Mulligan character, this young schoolgirl, gets kicked out of her school, her proper English school of the early 1960s, because she is engaged in unladylike behavior and her grades are really bad. So the headmistress, played by Emma Thompson, expels her, and so you could say that that was a sort of enforcement, because she was violating the code of conduct for the school. What's the significance of all this? Well, the significance to me is that the Super Lotto drawing at 8 p.m. appears to have been influenced by at least one, if not two, movies that were being viewed the following day. And in the case of An Education, which was from 6:45 to about 8:30 or so, well within the parameter of exactly 24 hours following the actual lottery drawing. And yet the other code word result, which was based on a lottery drawing that took place at 6:35 on December the 12th, appears to have been influenced by a movie that I was watching at around 6:35 on December the 13th. Remember, Orson Welles and Me ran from about 4:15 to about 6:30, 6:45, in that range there. So the point here is that not only was there two examples of retro PK going on here in terms of influencing the lottery results with these code words, which I have mentioned before I call the Ouija board effect. But the other thing is that there seems to be a certain time frame distinction occurring, where the earlier movie influenced the earlier lottery results almost exactly 24 hours prior to the viewing of the movie, and then the later movie influenced the later lottery results. Again, almost exactly 24 hours prior to viewing the movie. And in addition to all of this, there was an actual instance of a precognitive dream that I had on the morning of December the 11th. Of course, I didn't go see the movie The Princess and the Frog until much later in the evening, but in the morning of December 11th, I had a dream about, it was actually seemed to be like a scene from the Prince movie Purple Rain. Prince as in the rock performer Prince, not the Prince from The Prince and the Frog, although the Prince in The Prince and the Frog did have a nice big pompadour hairstyle, which Prince tends to wear, or the artist formerly known as Prince. Anyway, there's like a scene in Purple Rain where you have like a battle of the bands, several different bands, including Morris Day and the Time, performing, and And it seemed like I was having a dream about that particular scene, only in the dream, there were actually three distinct elements in the dream that I remember vividly. One was that there was one of the band members performing was playing a cornet. Definitely a cornet as opposed to a trumpet. Cornet is smaller and it's just distinctly different from a regular trumpet. And the other thing was that there was actually several people in like a chorus line wearing a distinct sort of hat that sort of a fedora type hat and smoking cigars. All the guys in the chorus line were smoking cigars. Well, why is all that significant? Because prior to the actual screening of The Princess and the Frog, the theater I was attending had some live entertainment on stage, and amongst the live entertainment there was a guy playing a cornet. Now it also happens that in the movie The Princess and the Frog, there's a alligator who plays a cornet as part of the movie, and there's a character called Big Daddy who is the father of the blonde princess girl in the movie, and he's constantly smoking a big cigar. And getting back to the live entertainment that occurred before the show, there was another guy performing live on stage. He was playing a guitar, which did not appear in my dream, as far as I can recall, but he was wearing a certain fedora-type hat, which was very similar to the hats that the guys in my dream were wearing. So, for some reason, I picked up on those particular elements, and they became part of my precognitive dream, which had occurred probably somewhere about 12 to 15 hours prior to the actual events unfolding on stage at the movie theater. So, quite a number of interesting little elements here, all suggesting, as I have often speculated, that precognition is perhaps a form of retro-psychokinesis, where the energy from the future is moving backwards through time and influencing the imagery within the brain, so that, in effect, the future is influencing the past, as opposed to the general concept of precognition, which is that you are seeing the future by somehow visiting the future. I don't entirely buy that idea. I think it's the idea that somehow the energy from the future is moving backwards through time. Seems more plausible, or I think you can make a more plausible model of how that could occur than the idea that you're somehow moving, transporting your own consciousness into the future and then moving backwards in time after you visited the future. But either way, there's definitely something going on, and what the heck it is, we still don't quite know. But